Forgive me in advance for this one, but it's Saturday in the park. I think it was the 4th of July. Okay, I had to do that. That's never in my life been an appropriate thing to say, except today. So this is Da'an Park, which is directly across the street from my in-laws' house. It's a huge park in Taipei. I understand at one time it used to be military housing when Chuan was a little girl, and they just razed it to the ground and put in this big forest park. And I have seen the trees grow quite a bit just in the time that I've been coming here. It's a little unnatural, but just the way they plant the trees everywhere. It could be a kid, or it could be some sort of one of those terror birds we saw yesterday. Anyway, it's still packed with people at this time. Ah, yes, he's chasing birds. It sounds a lot like die, doesn't it? I don't think that's what he means. And then maybe it is. Or she. He or she. It doesn't really matter. Anyway, the park is quite busy. Sunrise was about 15 minutes ago. And I can understand why people are out at this time of day and not others. What I can't understand is why they just have to stand there and watch what's going on. Screw 'em. Mind your own business. For crying out loud, there are people walking backwards with their arms stuck in the air through the park, and they're looking at me? Ha! New to the city on this trip is a subway line that goes through Da'an Park and has the Da'an Park MRT station. This is looking down into a sort of water garden that they've built here at the station. I'm told that every half hour or hour there's a show, but so far no one in the family has seen it yet. I suppose I could hang around sometime today and catch it. This station was under construction the last 2 times I was here, so 5 and 7 or 8 years ago. And of course the streets were destroyed and that was terrible. But now that it's here, it is it's at least 3 times closer than Guting Station, which was the next nearest that I used to walk to. Good and bad. Quicker to get to the subway, not as much exercise getting there. I'm conflicted. Now I ask you, do they have any subway stations like this in Japan? Or Singapore? Or anywhere else? This is down in the sunken garden at the subway station. I'm not sure what the frog with the old style soda pull tab is about. Or for you adults, the beer pull tab. So here's another thing about Taipei that's changed dramatically since I first came here. 5 years ago, even, you'd have been nuts, an insane lunatic, to ride a bike on the streets of Taipei. But the bike craze has taken this island by storm. And not only is it a multi-million, if not billion, Taiwanese dollar industry, touring the island, long-distance riding, and just general recreational riding, but Taipei has now implemented well, you can only call it ubiquitous, rental bike program. And here at Da'an Station is one of the depots for U-Bike. And I am very, very tempted to try these. You just use your MRT card and you unlock the bike and you can lock it up at any other. And because they're everywhere, unlike in Phoenix where they're nowhere, you can take the train, get off the bike, go do your business, come back to the train station, or you can go to a different train station. Doesn't matter. It's a great idea, and they put bike paths in around the city. Unlike California, you're allowed to ride on the sidewalk, which is a good thing because you'd still be crazy in the head to ride on the streets on a bike. They're crazy in the head to ride on the streets on scooters, but they do that anyway. I think there's less scooters on the streets. That's the weird part. I think it's actually cut down on traffic. Well, more power to them. Alas, James is too short to ride one, or this would be a perfect way for the family to get around. Later in the day, we had to go out for lunch with the family, and we managed to catch the water show at Don Park MRT station. Parts of which are much cooler in slow motion. It's easy to think, hey, that's no Bellagio water show, but then it is just a subway station. Amazing. We had lunch with the immediate family, and it was the first chance I got to meet my brother-in-law Johnny's fiancée, Irene, which is an inconvenient matching of names with my wife. The purpose of our excursion was to go to Johnny and Irene's new place and for a member of the groom's family to make the bed. Apparently a Taiwanese tradition. I've sped this up because this was brutal to watch. Later, we excurted, if excurted is a word, to do some shopping. Well, we're out on the deck at Shinko Mitsukoshi, and I'll get a pano here in a second. But Michelle is particularly excited because she has found something that she wants to go see. The Texas Roadhouse Restaurant. Steaks and tasty rolls. It'll be interesting to see how that is implemented here. We're at, I think we're in the Breeze Center. And they have this bread shop, and they cook garlic bread here in the oven right in front of the store, so that the entire lobby smells staggeringly good. And we keep passing by it, and we keep stopping and buying more garlic bread, which, okay, fine. We basically just got home from our lunch excursion, and we had to go out for dinner, which we took the subway. It was looking like a fine evening when everything started out. Buried in the subterranean caves of the subway, sometimes you don't always spot the obvious. There's been a surprise while we were in the subway. It's raining a lot. The rain led to considerable delays in our dinner, and it was much later when we came back out. But it wasn't raining anymore, at least. We're returning from our dinner ordeal. And it's not raining anymore. That's good. The whole situation tended us to be about, well, at least an hour late eating, which means that we were holding up the table for the people who had reserved at 7 when we'd reserved at 5:30. So they gave us a little bit of a rush to get us out, but they weren't too bad, and the food was quite good. It was a pretty good steak. It was not a bit of waste on my New Zealand filet. We're letting Michelle lead us home tonight, see if she can find her way back from the subway station. We're just following wherever she goes, and when she makes a wrong turn, we don't tell her. So it's when we reach the point where she gives up and she says, "Help, I don't know where I am," then we'll lead her the rest of the way back home. But for now, it's if somewhat humid, at least it's not a hot evening. But
there,
against all odds, she has delivered us to home.
I made it. Told you I knew the way.
In any case, that's our day today. And if you remember, I can do this left-handed, to like, comment,